Show them the first
Such an amazing
Oh yeah, that's Good morning. I'm doing very well. How are
Good morning, everyone. I guess we should go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here this morning. You may notice we have some absent seats, and that's because the Community College Association for Occupational Educators conference is starting today. And so a lot of our partners from our community colleges couldn't be with us, unfortunately, but they'll be getting all the information, and of course, they can view the consortium meeting online, and so I know that they'll stay up to date on what's going on. But thank you all for being here. First and foremost, I guess we need to go ahead and approve meeting minutes from our January meeting. And so if I could get a motion to approve.
Motion.
Jim, thank you.
Second.
Second, Kim. Kristen, sorry, thank you. All right, easy enough. Moving forward. All right, well, this has been a very exciting year so far, but I want to share some more exciting news. The last several months, we've been working to get a new articulation officer on staff with the consortium, and that has included some challenges, unforeseen. But we pulled it off, and I'm very excited to announce Cristina Valencia is now the new articulation officer for State Center Consortium. She is a counselor who comes to us from She comes to us from Madera Center, and she's actually been part of State Center Community College District for about 7 years.
Yeah,
over 6 years. Over 6 years. Yeah. So she's very knowledgeable in how the community college district functions, and she has the counseling background, and she's very familiar with a lot of the programs that are available here. And so I'm very excited to have her on board to be able to work with the faculty and our CTE teachers and try to facilitate the articulation approval process. Another exciting event that has happened since Christina has been on board is that we have met several times with the curriculum committee chairs and the VPs of instruction at the colleges in trying to streamline the articulation approval process. It's a very lengthy process and many times takes longer than we'd like for articulation applications to be approved. And so in these meetings and discussing, and we're still in the process of working this through, but we discovered that one of the administrative regulations of the community college district what we were not in compliance with, because the community colleges, according to this regulation, were supposed to have a designated articulation officer to work with the high schools, and they don't. And so just last week at the Chancellor's Cabinet meeting, and I'll credit Dr. Rayleigh for being a huge advocate for the consortium and for the articulation work that we do, the college presidents proposed that Christina be the designee for the colleges to be the liaison between the high schools and our district for all high school articulation. So this is a huge, huge acknowledgement for what we're doing and for Christina. So I'm very, very excited to share that information with you. Yay! So what that means now is that basically, just as it used to be, but now more officially, all of the 2+2 applications will come through our office, and we can be the representative on behalf of the community colleges to facilitate that process. And Christina is the main contact on that. And her business card should be located in your folders. So if you ever need anything, and some of you probably already been communicating with Christina, so now you have a face to put with the name. But her business card is located in your folders. If you need to contact her or have any questions about articulation, we have some information on our website that she is the new articulation officer. And so we encourage teachers or faculty to communicate with her if they're interested in articulating. And a little bit further in our agenda this morning, we're going to be talking about some of our collaboration workshops and how Christina has already been making some huge strides in getting faculty and teachers on board with articulation and OcuTrack. So very exciting things happening, and I am really excited about that. So thank you.
Cheer up.
The presidents, the college presidents will be sending a memo. Say it again.
No, that's nice.
Okay.
No, it's great. I was just saying how excited you were, and it was really good to see that at 7:30
This is
in the
huge.
morning.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Trying to
Perfect.
kickstart the rest of us.
That is, absolutely.
So I just want to read off a memo that will be sent to the curriculum committees and academic senate on behalf of the college presidents, Debbie Akeda, Tony Canto, Michael White, that says pursuant to Administrative Regulation 4050, articulation, the college presidents and campus president designate Christina Valencia, State Center Consortium High School Articulation Counselor, designate Christina as the primary contact to serve as liaison with local high schools. She will work with college curriculum committees to facilitate the articulation process. So it's coming together, and it's becoming, like I said, more official, which is really exciting for us, since there was an initial struggle for us to kind of prove that we needed a faculty counselor on board in the first place. So now we have the appropriate person, the appropriate position, and now that's being acknowledged by our colleges. So we're really excited to have that. So, and with that, I'm going to actually hand it over to Christina, and she's going to give you an update on our articulation and OcuTrack approvals and applications.
I just want to say I'm really happy to be here. So I'm with Lori right here in the excitement of, with the new acknowledgement and recognition of my position. So I'm really excited, but just really excited to be here in general, and to be working with all of you, hopefully in the future as well, with the articulation process. So with that, talking about articulation, there are 3 reports in your folders, and just to give you an update regarding some of the active, pending, and the OcuTrack articulation agreements that we have. So starting with the active 2+2 agreements, we currently have 140 total agreements, and with that, the majority of them are in the applied tech, the health, education, science, and social science areas. Applied tech being the bigger of them, so we have the majority of our courses in that area. Also, if you will see, we have some highlighted courses as well, and those highlighted courses are the new, or agreements, are the new ones that are were approved through ECPC through December of 2012, and they are about 27 agreements. And they are a combination of the new and new agreements, as well as some renewals. So those are for our active 2+2 articulations. And now going on to the pending 2+2 articulation applications, those are moving along pretty well. I've been receiving a lot of emails and phone calls from faculty, from deans, from teachers to renew the applications, as well as to submit some new ones. So that process is moving along pretty well. As you can see where some of the articulation applications are. You can see there's a couple in the VP of instruction, the dean level. So you can follow along with those in there. There's the majority of them being, there's an overall of, I'm sorry, let me back up. For the pending articulation applications, overall, there's about 35 applications, and that's including the OcuTrack applications, but we separated them out. So as of yesterday, there's about, the majority of them are in the department chair division, so they're just waiting for the department chair, the faculty, to look over the application and either approve or deny them. So that's where the majority of them, but there's been some really good movement, and we have about, we have 10 of them actually waiting and approved from the department chair, waiting for curriculum committee approval. So, so like I said, I've been able to track them. I've been sending emails when they're kind of just sitting there. I'm trying to get out emails on like a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day track here. So if they've been sitting there for over a month, I'll probably send a little email saying, hey, you know, you might want to look in your, and log in into the our website and look at your dashboard. You have something pending. So I will be doing that on a regular basis, and I look at the website on a daily basis to see and to keep track of them.
If I can just add to what you're saying too, the way Christina has it set up is that, you know, there's basically the status and then the applications that are underneath that status. Right now, the way the articulation approval process works is that when an application is submitted by a high school instructor, it goes to the VP of Instruction's office. They designate a dean, and then the dean sends it to the appropriate department chair. One of the proposals that we're working with our curriculum committees on is to eliminate those first two steps, so that when a high school instructor submits an application, instead of it going through the VP and the dean to get to the department chair, that it goes through our office first, so that Christina can review it and communicate any needs with the faculty and instructors, and then it goes directly to the department chair, so that we can eliminate some of those unnecessary steps. The VP and the deans could still be notified, but they wouldn't have to take action on the applications, and sometimes that's a little bit of a hang-up. So, of course, according to Title V, curriculum committees have to approve our process. So, like I said, we're still working with them to try to streamline what we're doing, but hopefully we'll continue moving forward with that. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
We also had a meeting with the VPs of instruction and their department chairs, and or their committee chairs.
Their curriculum committee chairs.
And they were really receptive to flattening out the beginning portion of that. So I think that's kind of, you know, in the works.
In the works. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trying to flatten out the beginning portion where they only get notified. So hopefully that'll get streamlined a little bit in the near future.
Christina, I have a question.
Yes.
On the pending report, would it be possible to put the name of the high school class on your report, so that like when we get these, we can kind of, because I would like to say that I know who at Kingsburg High applied for articulation, but with the college number, I don't know. Maybe with the high school name of the class on there?
Okay.
Could we do that too?
Okay.
And one thing I would like to underscore, as the veteran of this team at the State Center Consortium, I get to the benefit of all their energy with the youth. But I want to say that the advocacy that happens based on your input, the needs that have been expressed both at the college level and the high school level, I mean, they pick up the mantle and run with it and really charge forward. So as you see needs that you have, if you will bring them to the table, then certainly we will see action down at the top front of the table here, and it's really good to see, and that's what we want. We want to see that we're working in concert with one another to provide better services throughout our community. So thank you for input.
Can I ask one other question? So I like actually adding the high school title. Could we actually have this sent to us like as an Excel document so that we can sort and filter by school site, by district, as opposed to, because I know I can't pull it off of your website now.
You should be
Like
able to
as an
access your
Excel?
dashboard and view only the applications that.
Correct, but what I would like to do is have all of them, that I can just pull all of our schools, so I can look at, 10 high schools and be able to sort and filter by
The active or the
districts.
pending?
Uh-huh, both.
Oh, both. Okay, on our website, when you view the active applications, you actually can, you mean you want 10 all at the same time instead of?
Yes, instead of having to
I
go
see,
right
okay.
individually, so because I happened to be on it yesterday, so you have to, pull, and then you can pull it by school, but I'd like to be able then to I can't pull it from your website now into an Excel document?
You can export it. There's a little, you
Okay.
scroll down to the bottom, there's a little orange button that says CSV, and if you click that, it'll export it to an Excel
Okay.
file, and then you can manipulate it. But of course, Christina can send anything that you would like if you want more detailed information. That's fine. Absolutely. Okay, good. Anything else? Next one. Copy track.
Next is our OccuTrack report for spring 2013. And we did on this attach or include our teacher's name in the high schools that have active sections this semester. And we have a total of 18 sections and a total of 678 students. On the bottom, I did include that OccuTrack agreements remain in place as long as the articulated course remains active with the respective college and the high school ROP teacher continues to teach the course. The only thing that changes is the section number. So they will be getting a new section number from the college, from the division to which their course is articulated with. So they will get one every semester that they teach the course. So I did have some questions from some teachers regarding the OccuTrack. They thought that they had to renew the OccuTrack agreement, and it's not the OccuTrack agreement that they're renewing, it's the articulation agreement that they're renewing. So the OccuTrack remains active as long as the articulation agreement remains active.
OccuTrack is based, of course, on the teacher's qualifications, which if they've been approved, they don't have to renew that. But the articulation is the approval of the curriculum for the course. So that does have to be renewed every 3 years.
And in addition to the OccuTrack, we are having a workshop May 8th for our OccuTrack teachers, the ones that have active sections this semester. And we will be helping them to submit their grades and attendance for this semester. And we're also going to have kind of like a Q&A regarding the registration process, although they already registered their students for this semester. But if they have any questions or anything that comes up in that, we will be trying to help them with that.
And this comes out of a discussion in working with the admissions and records managers. We want to try to communicate as much information as possible to these OccuTrack approved teachers at the high schools. They need help kind of navigating the system here, and so we want to do this regularly prior to the semester starting. This year we're going to do kind of a follow-up, but in the future what we'd like to do is do it prior to them submitting their student application, student registration forms, admission forms. And that way they have, and they'll get used to it, and those teachers that have been approved might not need to come in the future, but we're trying to help them navigate the system. Debbie, did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say thanks for making sure that all those applications got to the teachers, because that was new this year.
That was another, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, another, in working with admissions records managers also, what we decided to do was be kind of the hub. The consortium would be the hub for the OccuTrack information and applications for the instructors. And what that does is hopefully provide some consistencies to those teachers that might be OccuTrack with Fresno State and Reedley College. And as we know, our colleges do some things differently. And so we wanted to be able to have a district-wide OccuTrack application for students and a district-wide process for them submitting applications. And what we'd like to do in the future as well is put the admissions applications online and be able, for the teachers to be able to access those documents online, so we don't have to physically send hard copies. But yeah, well, we're moving forward, but thank you. No problem.
We do have a meeting with the AR managers on Monday to kind of collaborate and see what kind of information we should be giving the teachers as well. So
those admissions and records managers really do a lot as far, I mean, that's an extra task for them to register those high school students, and that's a lot of students. I mean, you see over 600 students that have the ability to participate in OccuTrack right now. And so for them to be able to do that, we want to try to make, you know, as little work for them extra as possible. So, and it just makes sense since we're the ones that are familiar with the teachers and we're, you know, familiar with the OccuTrack agreements. So we're going to be the ones making sure sections are generated, and of course that's going to be Christina working on those things as well. So I'm really excited to have Christina here. Any other questions for Christina before we move forward? Okay, and I want to make sure I mention that Marcy Masamoto is with us online. Hi, Marcy. She has a cold and she didn't want to share her germs with everyone this morning, but she is viewing online. So we're glad you're here, Marcy. And one more little quick note about articulation is if we haven't had enough change and progress this year, we are also working with a company right now to develop a new online articulation system, one that's a little bit more intuitive and user-friendly. And so we're expecting to launch that next month. And we will be having an articulation workshop for our community college faculty and administrators April 25th. But what I'd like to do also is get with the maybe the ROP directors and see if we can make presentations at their fall in-services and conferences so that teachers are aware of the new system and how it's going to work. It should be very similar, but it should be a little bit more user-friendly than what we currently have. So any input is well appreciated and valued. So if you have any suggestions along the way, let us know. So, okay, all right, all righty. Moving forward, you should be soon receiving a survey that will be sent out electronically. Being that you're our advisory board partners, we want your feedback on the services that we provide, and as always, we want your input on what professional development needs you may have, or any other suggestions, and of course, what you feel we are doing well. So you'll be getting that soon through your email. And I also want to mention that last week we were at the Educating for Careers Conference, and right after that we had a CTE Teach administrative meeting there in Sacramento, and we were told that the funding for CTE Teach will be extended. We're very excited to keep Shelley around. She does an excellent job working as our teacher mentor.
All right, it's good I paid you off.
The funding for CTE Teach was supposed to sunset this year, and I don't know if I shared with you at the last meeting, but it had been cut basically in half, and we were one of only 16 programs in the state, and it looked like we weren't going to be able to continue. We were looking for other options to continue that funding going, but it does look like they've actually gotten a little boost in their funding at the state level, and so we will be submitting our application to renew our funding for next year. And like I said, have Shelley here to continue to work with those new CTE teachers. So if you know of any positions that you will be hiring people for next school year, please let us know, and we can put that down. Did you have
And
anything to
hot
add,
off the
Shelley?
press, this is a news flash this morning. I got notice from CRIROP, who has this grant that they coordinate for the state, and they have some additional funds this year that other sites have not utilized. So I have some ideas of how to use that, but if you have some teachers that you already know who you're hiring, I know that's the biggest challenge, or if you want me to look at working with some veteran teachers. That is one of the things that we talked about in Sacramento, that focus on some veteran teachers that might be able to make use of Harry Wong's classroom management, or else participate in the, learning about the 2+2 and how their courses can become linked with that, because we are a bridge. State Center Consortium is the bridge between the high schools and the colleges. And the other area that we can work with them on is cteonline.org, great resources, but sometimes our veteran teachers don't put in the time or the energy or know where to start with that. So if you have teachers, either on the college or high school level, let me know. I have to get back to them and tell them if we want to tap into those additional resources before the end of this year. So hot off the press on that one.
So then Shelley, you'd be doing like a workshop specific to whatever area that we
Right, I kind of identify what your needs are, and then we'll
Okay.
see what form might be best. Sometimes I go regionally out to small groups because that fits into teachers' schedules more conveniently. So in whatever way I can best address the needs that are brought to me.
Well, I have a new firefighting program, so I have new teachers that I need.
That'd be great. Yeah. And in fact, Madera had just told me mid-year they brought on some new teachers. So I know sometimes that happens. If you're in that situation, I'd be glad to come alongside them even at this point and give them some tools to support them.
Great.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Shelley, for sharing. Okay, so we're excited about that. All right, so each meeting, we've been selecting a focus topic for our advisory partners to be involved in a brief discussion about, so that we can get some feedback from you and and get your input on hot topics that are surrounding what we're doing. On top of your folders this morning, you should have seen the postcard for our counselor workshop that we're going to be having May 21st, and this is for high school and community college counselors. And so we decided our focus topic today could be regarding counselor collaboration. Since we have this workshop coming up, we're still in the planning stages. We have our key components set, but we want your input on what we feel counselors should be talking about and collaborating on between high school and community college level. So we have a quick little video that we're going to share. And before you start that, Debbie, I also wanted to share that this must be just the right timing, because there was an article in the Fresno Bee was this Sunday's paper?
Yes.
That counselors are critical to success. And so just like what we've been trying to do with our faculty and instructors as far as bringing them together to collaborate, we want to try to launch the same ideas with our counselors as well, because they are key to successful student transitions. And so one quote said, research has also demonstrated that school counselors can make a difference in the number of students who graduate from high school, apply for financial aid, and go to college. So we really feel like it's crucial for them to have those conversations. So we're going to show a quick little video, and then we'll pose a question and like to have a brief discussion on your input on what counselors should be communicating. A committee of high school and community college counselors in the planning of this workshop, and because we wanted it to be relevant to our community and what's going on with our local high schools and our community college district. And now that we've got a counselor on board at the State Center Consortium, we have even
put my other hat on.
Yeah. we have even a more insightful role. So our question this morning regarding counselor collaboration is, what are the key issues counselors should be communicating about to support students' transitions from one level of education to another? And Santo's on our planning committee, so maybe she would like to provide some.
At Selma High School, I'm a learning director, so I'm both an administrator and a counselor. So this year I have the entire senior class. One thing that we have that's really beneficial is the Reedley College K-16 Bridge program that we have with Reedley. It's a wonderful program that we've taken on as the counseling department. Typically, with that, they have access to lessons, career preparation, college preparation lessons that the teachers would teach in the classroom in 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grades. But we have taken that on as a counseling department because we felt the need to communicate to our students personally. So I would see my students typically at least 4 times a year in that formal classroom setting where I would be teaching them lessons on, what is their future career like, what are they interested in, and each grade level has different lessons. So by the time that they're seniors, then we talk about, a sample AccuPlacer test for the City College level. We talk about your career, navigating through the college catalog, getting ready for that Reg to Go day. So it's a very beneficial program that we've kind of put into place with Selma High School. So before we were kind of just, let's help them here, here, and here. But now it's more formalized. We're actually teachers teaching them, and I see my students more, and I've seen them since their 10th grade. So we have them, I got them as 10th graders, 11th grade, and now 12th grade. So I can walk into the English classroom like I did yesterday, and everyone's like, hey, Mrs. Sneakin, and they're so open and receptive to me. So I have that personal relationship with them. But yeah, we do push them. We have to push them, to get the financial aid applications and actually apply to school. To Fresno State, we have 115 who got accepted to Fresno State out of 364 students. So that's a huge success for us. But I think once we put everything into place, and we had to figure out at each level what's important. But it's that personal connection that you have with that student that's the most important. Anyone else? Sorry.
Well, one of the things we saw and heard up at the, Educating for Careers Conference, and there were 2,500 people there in Sacramento, well attended throughout the state, is repeated documentation in the research that says a correlation between an identified career, pathway, or interest in high school reinforces their success in graduating and continuing on to college, but certainly impacts the graduation rate. So as we can support counselors who are frontline people and they're the anchor for exploring careers, I think we want to look at ways, how can we then foster that communication between the different educational levels to keep that bridge easy for students to navigate so they can reach that and achieve that goal of college and graduation.
Yeah. And she's correct. I mean, we have all the kids, I place them in the ROP classes, as much as I can, because they need to figure out their career. Even if, they're like, well, I'm going to go to college. I said, well, yeah, that's great, but you need a major. You need to figure out what career you're going to be in. So that's what we do. We push them to the ROP classes at that 11th and 12th grade level. But, it just helps them so much, and they're so more successful. And I've seen that shift, from before, because I've been in this for 11 years now. But, before, if they don't have a goal, or if they're not going to a college, then they're not, they get the senioritis around this time, and they don't want to, complete and all that. So I've seen the kids that do have those goals, especially in the nursing program that we have, they're on it, and they are, ready to rock and roll with their career and, get ready for college. So it's very beneficial that we have, obviously, the career tech ed classes at the high school level.
That link between retention and college enrollment, so that's why we want to support one another.
Nobody gets excited by going to English, but they get excited by going to their nursing class.
There you go.
Yeah.
That underscores it.
And as a matter of fact, we sent a survey out to all of our counselors. Part of the database that Debbie worked on at the beginning of the year was gathering information on all the CTE instructors, but she also gathered administrators and counselor information. And so we sent out a survey to all the counselors at the high schools and the community colleges asking for their input, and we gave them 6 or 7 key areas or big topic areas and asked them to rank or put the ones that they were most interested in. And the top 2 were the Student Success Act of 2012 and Educational Planning for Careers. And they really are noticing that that's really important, is for students to be able to explore different career pathways and to find out what their niche is so that they can continue their post-secondary education and get to where they want to be. So those are going to be some of the main topics that we're going to talk about. But if there's any other input from the group on topics or issues that counselors should be communicating about, Nina?
I hope that you don't forget the children, students who are never going to go to college. Mm-hmm. Because that's it.
And when we say college, I think we are thinking about career pathways, so that, you're right, that's a great, that whole umbrella of college or career prep.
They kind of feel left out because college is the name, even though they may be going to a tech school, or maybe they've been prepared in their CTE courses so that they can go out and be college ready.
Right, absolutely. And we want to be able to provide some resources that they can use with students while they're in high school too, so that like the K-16 Bridge program Sasha was speaking about, so that they can identify maybe earlier on what their career pathway is, and then counselors can place them in appropriate CTE or ROP programs, and they can earn those certifications if they don't choose to continue their education. Thank you, Nina. Anybody else? Okay, I guess we should continue moving forward. We're running a little behind this morning. Okay, so old business. We have quite a few workshops that have happened since the last time we met in January. The Exemplary Practices Conference for the Sabelli Group was on the 29th. And actually you see a large clip. These are all the evaluations for the overall evaluation and the breakout sessions. Now, I'm going to ask if anyone would be opposed to, in the future, us not printing out the evaluations. Debbie always posts them online, yeah, because it's a lot of paper.
Yeah.
And so if it's okay with you all, we won't continue to print out these evaluations, but if you go to our website and you click on the event that we've done, Debbie always posts, usually within the first 24 hours, okay, so evaluation reports, there you go. You can always see what the evaluations are, and she posts those online in case you want to know how things are going. But it was quite a bit of paper this time, so I just wanted to throw that out there. So we'll continue to post those online. We also did an NCCER implementation workshop. These were for the teachers that had gone through the certification last year. We worked with Fresno ROP and Anthony Ayerza on that. In February, on the 6th, we did a Adobe CS6 and Photoshop workshop, which was packed. And all of those always fill up very quickly. And then on the 7th, we had 3 events that week. That was a very busy week. We did it.
You guys started.
That was she started. She was questioning whether or not she should come. Yeah, it was initiation, right? February 7th, we held a criminology collaboration day, similar to the construction collaboration and the educating for careers collaboration that we've done in the fall. But this was for the criminology group, and we had community college faculty and high school instructors here. And I was so impressed by the discussion and the collaboration that happened at that meeting. It was awesome. I mean, you really didn't have to facilitate much. These guys just had so much to talk about and share with each other. And I think that the high school instructors walked away with a huge sigh of relief, because in the past, there had been some challenges with getting some of those programs articulated, and some of the faculty have changed at the community colleges, and they're much more receptive now to articulating programs and working together and encouraging, that relationship there. So a lot happened, and I'll let you kind of make a note of what kinds of things happened that day.
Right. And during the process, we were talking about articulation and OptiTrack, and we did have 3 teachers on that day apply for OptiTrack, and they actually submitted 4 applications. One teacher had 2 articulated agreements that he wanted OptiTrack, and one actually already got approved and is ready to be published. So he's going to be on track to have hopefully a section either next semester or the following spring. So it's definitely tied. Those collaboration days are very informative, very helpful. And it was through that, because we did have the 2 criminology instructors for both City College and for Reedley College there. So they were actually very receptive to them and their applications and everything. And we actually had one teacher who had his articulation agreement denied previously, like a year ago, and was encouraged by by Bruce Hill over at the Crim department and to resubmit it, and we resubmitted it, and now it's approved and ready for curriculum committee. So it's really good. It's good stuff during those days to collaborate.
And if you have other, our various districts have really taken advantage of being able to come for collaboration days here at the State Center. And as you can see, we're impacting a lot of students through the OcuTrack, 2+2, but then when you bring everybody together to share ideas, very hard to find time to do that and hard to do it on your high school campuses and college campuses. So when we bring the two players to the table together, lots of things happen, and that really does energize people when they go back to their school sites.
And if you have any suggestions or recommendations on a certain curricular area that you would like for us to hold a collaboration day in, like Shelley said, it's hard for them to get that time and place to come together. So for us to just be able to offer that opportunity for them to collaborate really has been really exciting to see the things that have happened. A couple other notes on the CRIM Collaboration Day. Unfortunately, the director of the Police Academy over at Fresno City was not able to be with us that day. But part of the discussion that happened was regarding a kind of a shadowing of a police cadet idea. And so just last week, Christina and I went over and met with Richard Lindstrom, who's the director of the Police Academy, and his dean, Natalie Culver-Dawkins, and discussed this idea of students that are in CRIM programs being able to shadow a cadet that's currently in the Police Academy. And we were really excited. He's like, yeah, I think we can do that. So we're working with him on the logistics of it, but I think our CRIM instructors are going to be really excited to hear that that's another opportunity that their students are going to be able to have now. And so it's just about, like we mentioned, bringing people together and getting them to brainstorm and share out ideas, and neat things like that happen. And actually, Natalie, afterwards, she said, we need to do this with the Fire Academy also. So we're going to plan a meeting with the director of the Fire Academy, and we know that there are several fire courses out there that maybe we can link up those high school students with the cadets in the Fire Academy as well. So May 3rd, Clovis East is having a Public Services Day, and this has kind of replaced the CSI Day that used to happen over at Thurman. And I didn't have that on here. We don't have a flyer yet, but we'll send that information out to you as soon as we get it from Clovis East. But Tony and Mike out there are pulling together a big event, and we're supporting them in that effort. And they're inviting high school teachers and their students to come out and check out some. And they're calling it public services because it's really fire and police both. So if you have students or teachers that would want to go to that, check back and we'll get that information out to you. We had a huge A to G workshop on February 22nd. Nearly, actually over 80 people registered. We had about 70 show up, and this room was full, and it was very beneficial. A lot of people walked away with a lot of good information regarding A through G, and they were people who really traveled here from all throughout the state. Majority of them from our area, of course, but apparently it was well needed, and there are actually some extra copies of the presentation and some flyers on the UCCI Institute on the back table if you'd like to take them with you. But there have been quite a few changes in the A through G approval process and updates, and especially with Common Core rolling out. There's a lot of questions about resubmitting for academic coursework. So we had teachers, we had counselors, we had administrators, and the whole gamut of people here, anybody that had to deal with A through G. So that was really a huge success. We also supported the Central Valley Young Entrepreneurship Conference on March 6th, and they had over 800 students in attendance there with breakout sessions. It was awesome. The apprenticeship workshop, I'm going to have Scott actually share with us. Scott Lewis is the Central Valley Apprenticeship Coordinator's chairman, and I've had the extraordinary opportunity to get to know Scott this year, and he does amazing things, and we got to do another apprenticeship workshop with him this year, and so I'll let you talk about it. It's on March 7th.
Okay. I'm here to brag as well as be thankful. We've worked with the State Center now for over 16 years. We just completed our 16th career workshop, and what this involves is 9 or 10 of the local apprenticeship programs in this area. This was our largest year for attendance for our one-day workshop. When we originally started this 16 years ago, we were doing 3 days. So we actually rotate through 3 days and get about 100 kids per day, and it's very exhausting. As well as with the economy and the cutbacks with all of the different programs, we lowered down to 2 days, and then we went to 1 day. But this year was phenomenal. You know, we focus on only junior and high school students, and with Shelley, you know, she focuses on getting all the CTE instructors rallied up, and that way we have a focused audience, those that are looking to get into the career technical education. This year we had 9 apprenticeship programs, for this area that came, brought instructors, their directors, and did hands-on activities with the students. So we start off the day, and I'd like to turn you to, this was the next one in your packet here, and it shows an outline of the day. So, of course, this was held on March 7th. It starts at 8:30 in the morning. We serve refreshments to the students, introduce them to everybody, tell them about the day, tell them about the basic requirements for apprenticeship. Most apprenticeships are from 4 to 5 years in length. There's a few out there that are 3 years in length, but more or less we're considered the college to the construction industry. Most of the apprenticeship programs offer college credits and are associated with either an AA or an AS degree. You know, it kind of opens up to the students about education is very important. Your math skills, your reading, your writing, your comprehension. It's part of vital life in order to be successful. And a lot of them don't realize that while coming in. Our workshop's been fought over for the last 16 years for the attendance. Even this year, we had one instructor show up with their students that didn't register because didn't meet the registration date, or it already filled. It usually fills within a couple of few days, if even that long.
People email us in advance, like, when's it going to open? When can we register our students? So.
Because of that fight for getting the enrollments, finally teachers just start showing up and bringing them.
You let them stay?
I've got to hand to Christine and Lori and Debbie and Shelley. They really handle pressure very well. Working with these people it's been an honor, you know, especially meeting Lori for the first time and Christine and Debbie I've known for some time, and Shelley, but just phenomenal. Matter of fact, Northern California, I'm the chairman for the Central Valley Coordinator Association, but I'm also the co-chair for the state liaison committee to the California Apprenticeship Council, which takes me all across California, as well as I know every coordinator and every program, every director for every apprenticeship, construction related. And in Northern California, all the other coordinator associations have based their workshop on ours. So the one that we started, and they still wonder, how do we get just these construction tech ed young people, you know, and filter them out? And it's like, I work with Lori. So it's been a great experience and great turnouts. You know, this year we had carpenters, of course, which I'm a district coordinator for the Carpenters Apprenticeship Program. You know, and I listen to everybody around here is wearing many hats. Yeah, I'm the principal, I'm the coordinator, I'm the counselor, I'm the good guy, I'm the bad guy. You know, I grew up in the trade as well as became an instructor and worked my way up to the senior position. We had the plasters there, which
This is my proof. I got to participate. This is my plaster.
so she got to do a mosaic demonstration. And,
That was really
we
good.
also had the plumbers and pipe fitters there. We had HVAC there. We had sheet metal there. We had iron workers there.
Sprinkler fitters, which is new.
Sprinkler fitters was new this year.
I have to give Scott a lot of credit.
Gosh, I made it up
He-
to about 7,
he-
and now I'm drawing a
Electrical.
blank. So-
That's okay, but yeah, Scott's really done a great job in recruiting all the people to come, the apprenticeship coordinators and journeymen to come and do those presentations for the kids. So thank you so much for the awesome
You're welcome.
opportunity to work with you. Okay, Educating for Careers Conference was last week, and some of you were there, and it was a really great conference. We got a lot of good information. I found out that there's some legislation, and of course with the sequestration happening, there's some potential cuts that are going to be affecting Perkins. So we're keeping our eyes out and ears open for what's happening with that. But actually, I attended a breakout session, just real quick, on the Perkins State CTE plan. And there's a big discussion on mandatory secondary and post-secondary consortiums like us, because there are not a lot of consortiums like us out there in the state of California. And so I felt really special that we already had that. box checked. So, but that might be a requirement for other high schools and community colleges in the future, that they're going to have to be part of a consortium. And it just makes sense, because bringing everybody together like this allows us to work together in a team and you know, continue the mission of CTE. So, and then finally, we did a food safety certification last week. That was the Serve Safe workshop for our culinary and home ec instructors, and that was a success also. You have a couple of applications in your packets. The red, of course, is the job shadowing, and we still have several of those available through next year. Summer is coming up, and if you have teachers that want to go, and faculty also, that want to participate in going out into business and industry and refreshing their skills or getting up to speed on industry trends, then they should apply for job shadowing. We actually provide them a stipend, and they can go out and get that experience. Also, we have what we're calling our transportation grants. They're little mini grants, and these are for our outreach days. And so what we're doing this year is we've found some extra money in our transitions grant, and so we're trying to support transportation expense for high schools to get their students on to the campuses for those outreach events. And Willow had theirs yesterday, and we've got Madera Center's coming up April 4th. Career Skills Challenge is tomorrow, so that's the showcase day for Fresno City. And then we're pulling together one at Reese College as well on April 19th. So you can fill those out, and if you have students that want to go, we can help pay for the transportation to get them there. Scholarship opportunities, we also have career days that are still available. One, it says it's available, that's through next year though, so if you want to host a career day on your campus, we can support you in that. And substitutes, we still have remaining substitutes. Any teachers that attend our workshops, you can be reimbursed for substitute expense, just let us know, and we can help you with that. Okay, so now we're down to the good stuff. Dr. Crow is here with us today on behalf of the Fresno Compact. He's executive director and has been in that role for about 5 years, but he's been with the Compact for quite a few years, is how he wanted me to put it. And so Dr. Crow is here with us this morning to present some really exciting information about the Fresno Area Strive project and what the Compact is doing with Strive. So I'll hand it over to you, Dr. Crow. Thank you for being here.
Debbie's provided a couple handouts for you in your packet, as well as I think made this available for you, our baseline report. Just a couple things. The Fresno Area Strive program grew out of part of what they call a national cradle to career movement. It started in Cincinnati about 10 years ago, really with some of the Fortune 500 companies there going to the school districts locally and saying, we can't hire any of your graduates because they're not prepared to be successful employees. This has really expanded into now there are over 75 cities in the United States that have taken on this national cradle to career movement, of which the Fresno area, and the Fresno area is a real key concept in this to understand. What we're looking for is to really get everyone together. Of course, you've heard this a bunch of times, and I'm going to tell you the difference in this one too. Bringing people together to starting at pre-kindergarten levels to move them into a data-driven program to make them successful entering a career. And that takes a lot of different areas in. Our geographic area that we're looking at is the boundaries of the Fresno, Clovis, Sanger, and Central Unified School Districts, and the Fresno County Office of Education, of course, is a key component to this. We have higher education partners involved in this as well. One of the things that we really looked at when we looked to developing this thing in the region was that we're not going to pit school districts or people against each other. We're going to look at a regional view of all these things. So if you can imagine, we're going to look at from about 5,000 feet down to the region, and that's why we've chosen the geographic region. All of the results that you see, with the exception of higher education, in this baseline report, which can be available online to you, or if you want a hard copy, you can just get a hold of me, send me an email, and I'll be happy to mail you one. We came down to a couple things. If we're really looking at the region, what do we care what happens in between with all of the different agencies and different things like that? So we're going to look at a regional approach to all of this. We developed 6 goals, and it's on your handout. Every child will be prepared for school, be supported in and out of school, will demonstrate the components of a healthy lifestyle, will succeed academically, This is, as we talk in this group, I think is specifically important and really sets us aside from a lot of the different STRIVE programs. Every student will graduate from high school and enroll in post-secondary education and/or career training. A lot of the STRIVE programs say everybody needs to go to higher education. Ours is we need to get to have you eligible to get into higher education and/or career training, and then also to complete a post-secondary program and/or career training and enter a meaningful career. An important step for us has been the development of a roadmap to success. You have that. This took us about 3 years to get all of the players to buy into this thing. And the Fresno Compact takes in 27 members. This would be the executive board of the Fresno Area STRIVE, which includes our educational partners as well as many business partners. We have also associate members, which you'll hear from Michelle with junior achievement. The consortium certainly has been. But if you look down to the different academic achievement areas, and you look down to the student and family support areas, these are the things that we feel are critical to having students succeed. As we look down to, at the very bottom, you'll see participates in a high-quality preschool program. At present, we have 42% of our students in our study area participate in that. Enters an agreed-upon score on the kindergarten student interest profile. This, again, we talk so many times about all these programs about, are they ready for kindergarten? Well, we think so. We're doing, every district, every classroom is doing some type of a different kindergarten screening program. In a period of about 3 months, all of the school districts that are involved in this got together and we agreed that we're going to use the kindergarten student entrance profile as our indicator of kindergarten readiness. So in a period from May of last year into by the end of September, we had agreed upon, had in-service training and everything, and had screened close to 11,000 kindergartners that are entering kindergarten in these 4 districts. So they can continue to do whatever they want, but now we have a common, in the county office, and Michelle Kofer has been a real key to bringing this together, as well as First 5. We found there are 4 categories. One of them is ready to go, which means ready for kindergarten. 37% of the kindergartners entering kindergarten this year were really ready for kindergarten. And so there we need to start looking at some things to work out. Another thing looking at, we're going to start tracking too, is absences. We're going to start in kindergarten, or we are starting in kindergarten, and tracking the students that have missed 10 days or more in kindergarten, and we're going to work up through. We found out that kindergartners, 29%, almost 30% of the kids that enter kindergarten are missing 10 days or more. And that pattern doesn't change by the 11th grade. So there's something we definitely need to look at. As we got into this thing too, we had some of our business partners saying, look, if this is just going to be a regurgitation of test scores that we read about all the time, we're not in. We want to make sure that kids are getting a well-rounded education, that they have a chance for co-curricular activities and different things like that, so, and a positive adult role model. So we have taken, not only are we looking at some academic measures, but we're also on the right-hand side of the paper, we're looking at things like the school connectedness scale, which talks about positive role model. You get a chance to be involved in co-curricular things. Do you feel safe at school? So we're getting a chance to look at some of these. Another area that has distinguished the Fresno program from most of the other STRIVE programs is that we're looking at components of a healthy lifestyle. If we're looking now where we look at 2 of the things off the California Physical Performance Test, we're looking at aerobic capacity, which is a pretty good general overall fitness level, and body composition. And what we found is the aerobic capacity, about 60-some% of the students fit into what we call, or the state calls, a healthy fitness zone. But we have 50% of the kids are fitting into that healthy fitness zone in body composition. So we've got 50% of our kids in these grade levels that are starting to exhibit some signs of obesity. And those are the things that we need to jump on really quickly. We want to make sure that the students, and we're going to coordinate into the 9th grade, that they complete a higher ed or career plan. Most of the districts have this, but we want to make sure that it's all coordinated into the 9th grade, because we want to get a good start on that. We look at graduation rates right now. From the overall view, we have about an 80% graduation rate in all the districts participating. We're looking at college going rate, and that's a tough one for us because we use the National Clearinghouse to look at some things, and there's a lot of ifs and buts. We're looking at 60-some%, but there's some ifs on there too. And then we look to the students of, as they get into college, fall to fall persistence. Are they coming back the next year? Time to completion, number of degrees and certificates awarded, and graduation rates with our higher ed partners. We're also looking at percentage of students receiving Pell Grants, and we're looking at that as a reason for what are some of the impediments to having students graduate on time. Are they getting adequate financial aid on the thing? We put down a number, this is at some of our higher ed partners, talked about the number of hours students work in a week, and then as we got into this thing, we found out it's pretty tough to track, so we're probably going to regroup on that when it comes. So what we've done is we put together, we just published this in January, our baseline report. This gives us the starting point and all of these measures that are included on the roadmap to success. And so what we'll be doing from here on is we have organized action teams around those 6 goals that you have. And so we have education lead co-chairs in each one, and we would like the other co-chair to be from an agency or a business or an interested individual. So we will be convening those action teams here within the next month. George is serving as one of our lead co-chairs on that for the higher ed piece. And so we're looking to get folks involved. So we'd like to have people involved in those things. We're looking at 3 to 4 meetings a year probably. Our next year's report will be simply a progress from the baseline. And so, like I said, really the thing that makes us stand out is not only bringing the community together, but also we're looking at hard numbers on here. You've been involved in a lot of these committees that feel good about a lot of things and are really sensing some good direction and some good improvement. But you say, well, what is good improvement? You say, well, I'm still feeling pretty good about this. We want to show hard numbers on this thing. Are our kids, are we doing a better job with attendance? Are we getting our kindergartners ready to enter school? What are we doing with this? So we're working really from that career point down to that preschool point of getting students ready for a meaningful career. So it really ties in to the work of the consortium as well. So it's been a really exciting challenge. We're getting more and more people on board. If you would like to be, or you know some people or agencies that should be involved in this, please give me a shout out with an email, just tcrow@csufresno.edu, and we'll be happy to get you involved. Like I said, you have an electronic copy available to you. If you'd like a hard copy, please just send me a note on that as well. So, like I said, the consortium is involved in this through Lori's, Junior Achievement certainly through Michelle. Fresno County Office of Ed is one of our ed partners, as is State Center Community College District, Fresno State, Fresno Pacific, National University. So all of those are the educational partners that are starting out. And then we have about 25 local agencies as our initial partners, and we'd like to quadruple that to get about 100 of our partners from the community as well. So it's been an interesting go. It's been a while going off, but I think once we came around to the idea that we're going to look at kids from a regional standpoint, and I think from the school district, they get their name on the Fresno be enough about things. And so this doesn't help us to pit Fresno against Sanger, against Clovis, against Central. So as we look at an overall view of this, of our kids in this geographic region, this is going to help us move forward and move the agenda. So.
Yeah, and I think the work that you are doing is really great. It's interesting and exciting to see all these different community agencies, educational and business industry come together for students. And, you know, like you said, pre-K all the way through higher education. So, you know, thank you very much for coming and sharing that information. Anybody have any questions for Dr. Crow? With that, we're going to go ahead and move over to Michelle Calandra. She is the new director for Junior Achievement for our region. And so I asked her to come today to share a little bit of information about Junior Achievement. So I'll hand it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Lori, for having me. And again, yes, I'm the new Regional Executive Director for Junior Achievement. I have a very short PowerPoint. It'll be short to the point, and these are also handouts that are in your packet as well. Here we go. So our mission is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in the global economy. What does that really mean? We have 3 pillars at Junior Achievement, what we focus on: financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. Those are our three where we take youth development. Why we do it is for youth development, economic development, and education development. Those are our pillars. That's what junior achievement is. I oversee a 5 counties, so Fresno County, Madera, Inyo, Mariposa, and Mono. We currently have, just in Fresno and Madera, I have over 220,000 students, and we only actually penetrate about 4% of those with junior achievement. A little about our history. So, junior achievement in general is actually almost about 100 years old, and it's actually an international program. A lot of people don't realize that. They're very big all throughout the country. We're part of Junior Achievement of Northern California. Our regional office is in Walnut Creek. They've been around for about 62 years, very prevalent in the Bay Area. Here in Central Valley, however, it's only been in existence for about 5 years. So when you're talking to people, they really might not even know what junior achievement is unless they've gone through the program or maybe even somewhere else in the country and understand it and know about it. So one of the things I have been kind of put on me is really getting it out there, talking to groups like this, and it's really word of mouth, spreading what we do and how we do it, getting involved within the community, because even teachers don't realize what we offer. And again, we have programs. There's actually a handout that showcases all of our programs, K through 12, starting with financial literacy. Very easy. We do our job shadows, which we work with the State Center Consortium and Fresno Compact help fund with those. And we go all throughout the community, whether it's JP Marketing, a Wells Fargo, AT&T, and we bring students into those programs, into those facilities, and they give them a rundown, a half-day rundown of what jobs are even available. We know kids, they're on a college track or they're not. I want to give all kids that opportunity, whether they're going to vocational school or the college track. And I've talked with Lori at depth of this, and we really want to start focusing on our high school students. JA does, again, work with K through 12, and we do a lot of elementary, but again, we are trying to shift our focus more to that high school because, again, especially when it comes to financial literacy, the kids need that. We have some statistics. So California's high school dropout rate, we're at about 14.4% on that. Looking at our young people who drop out of high school are much more likely to go to prison is 8 times more likely. And here in the Central Valley, our numbers are actually a little slightly higher. These are a generalization. And again, statistics, everyone here probably knows all these numbers quite too well. And then looking at the percentage of 18 to 23-year-olds who are going to file bankruptcy, it's a startling 33%. These numbers right there, especially our high school kids, they need that financial education. They need to understand that when they go onto a college campus or when they're out of high school, they're going to be inundated with credit card offers. They need to understand how to manage that, how to balance their checkbooks. A lot of kids don't even realize how to do that, but just giving them those fundamental financial skills. Societal needs. So by focusing on education, economic, and youth development, our programs contribute to the vitality of our community and a well-educated workforce. So again, we want to educate those kids and give them the tools to succeed, whatever path they decide to go down, because these skills are just fundamental. They're going to use these throughout their entire lives. Again, how to balance a checkbook, credit card offers, 33% bankruptcy rate, 18 to 24. We want to try to stop those numbers and give them that knowledge that is needed. And that's what Junior Achievement does. We really go and start at a young age and give them those tools to be successful and give back to the communities that they're in. Then looking at our resources. So, our volunteers. We are obviously volunteer-based. Without our volunteers, we could not run our programs. In my office alone, there are 1.5 of us. I oversee 5 counties, and it's myself and a part-time program coordinator. So it is only through our volunteers that we are a success. So where do we get our volunteers? We get them through the business community, their parents, community members, their college students, and we're actually looking to work more with high school students at the junior and senior level to go into our elementary schools and give them hands-on experience. So if you have a teaching track, I would love to talk with you more about getting your high school students into our elementary classes. And it is during the day, so it kind of would work. And then funding, where do we get our funding? Again, partners, State Center, Fresno Compact. It's the corporations, it's foundations, it's service organizations, it's running events. We have an annual bowl-a-thon that we do in the fall, and then individual giving. Always looking for funding, obviously. I'm a nonprofit. How can you help JA here in the Central Valley? Volunteer. We need volunteers. Our volunteer base here in the Central Valley, it's very minimal. And so getting in front of groups of you and opening up doors to your employees, your friends, your family, we utilize 300 to 400 volunteers to run our programs every year. Right now, we actually are in need of about 70 for our upcoming days throughout the rest of the school year that we have planned so far, and a heavy load in May. So if you have groups at your colleges, at your high schools, if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, and you would like to do this within your own child's classroom, let us know. We would love to actually get that a partnership up and going with that school, whoever they may be. But again, opening up the door for volunteers, because we are in high need of volunteers. And then JA Job Shadow. We work with all sorts of corporations to go into and give the high school students those hands-on focus of what does Wells Fargo do? So we actually will be going to Wells Fargo in April, and their corporate offices in Fresno. It's not just, a lot of students just think, oh, it's a teller. That's all that a bank is. You're just a teller or a bank person. We actually give them the hands-on, behind the scenes, the operations, the marketing, who they are, what they do, and what they could do at a bank, and it's not just that teller. So it really opens their eyes. So JA Job Shadows are a huge part of what we do, especially meeting the needs for our high school students and giving them that opportunity to open their eyes on different opportunities that they didn't know maybe even existed. Funding. We're always obviously looking for funding, and that's the scary word. Everyone's looking for funding, but we always are looking for corporate sponsorships. Individual giving, again, being a participant in our bowl-a-thon, our annual bowl-a-thon, and individual giving. We would love to take corporations and partner them with schools and adopt a school. And by doing that, it's basically helping us to fund that school and provide the volunteers. And that would go back and be a yearly kind of thing that this corporation would do. University of Phoenix actually does this with us. They fund a school and they bring all the volunteers. And it's a beautiful thing. Guardian Industries down in Kingsburg, it does that as well. So if you know of any corporations that are looking to volunteer, or even just starting with volunteers within their organization, I would love to hear from you and talk with them about getting those volunteers. And then how do you find us? You can find us online. You can find us Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And again, here is my contact information, and it is on your handout. So that's kind of in a nutshell, junior achievement, on what we're doing and what our needs are currently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you coming in this morning. And this young lady's a ball of fire. So she's like 1.5 staff. I mean, I admire the work that you're doing, and she's already making a huge amount of progress. So we're excited to support their efforts with the job shadowing days and social innovations camp, and they're doing some really great stuff out in high school. So we're proud to be part of Junior Achievement. Okay, Mark has a couple quick things for FCOE.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in your packet, you should have a handout for the second annual Picture the Valley contest. We were able to move that to May this year, so it's May 30th from 4 to 8. It will be once again at the Clovis Veterans Memorial, but it's just a showcase for local teachers to kind of get video a little bit more integrated into the curriculum as we kind of migrate towards Common Core. So it's a natural progression towards that. We had, first year we had 37 video entries. We offer free training and free technology for anybody that might be interested in that. So all you have to do is go to picturethevalley.org to get some more information about that. So we're always looking for more participants. I think the deadline for entries is going to be May 1st. So we have a month to go through and do all the editing and all that. So if you're interested in anything like that, we can send people out to your school site, or we can have you guys come down and we can get you trained, you and or your teachers trained on those different types of things. So there's that handout. Deb's put up here our Common Core website. It's been recently modified and revamped and everything. So that website is commoncore.fcoe.org for the County Office of Ed. And so we have a lot of resources on there, including a lot of summer workshops that are coming up. So things that are STEM related, English language arts, technology, any of those types of things. So if you're wanting some more Common Core information, feel free to go there. I was at the Q conference last week, and I had a couple of people from LA County come up and say, hey, thanks for all the great work that our office, I couldn't take any credit for it, but a lot of people are looking to our office as kind of a leader for Common Core statewide. So you're here, take advantage, people, let's go, right? So Common Core PD workshops over the summer, and then the final thing, Debbie, if you might go into that last tab, is our services. So again, we can come out to your site if you don't want to do the video stuff, you're just looking for some Google, iPad, or just some tech coaching or integration. We offer some information there. And then recently, I don't remember if we had talked about it or not, but on our page there, we have a link to our YouTube channel where we're starting to offer some online professional development. So if you just want like short little 30-second or 2-minute clips on how to do some technology stuff, we have some information there, as well as we're starting to showcase some local teachers. So starting in, I think it was in November, we went out and we filmed Will Kimley and Fresno Unified. And then December, we went out and did some video with Diana Harrington at Clovis High School. January was a 2nd grade teacher in Fowler. And then we have the video footage for some great things that are happening in Kings Canyon. We just haven't had, if you guys can invent like a couple of days of time that we can get that done, then we'll have a video of some Chromebooks and stuff like that up in Kings Canyon. But if you have any great things that are happening in your district that you'd like us to showcase, to kind of promote just some great technology, some great pedagogy or anything like that, we'd be very much interested in working with you and getting out there and showcasing those great things. So we have all that available there. I'll hang around a little bit if you guys have any additional questions, but thanks for letting us chime in with questions.
Sure, thank you, Mark.
This
Yes, ma'am.
information is getting to the teachers through us on your website?
So we've been listing it in our newsletter that goes out every month. So we just sent that out
To the sites?
last week, yeah, through the sites. If you want more copies of that, I'd be happy to send you an electronic copy that you can
That'd be great.
disseminate to everybody. So just remind me right afterwards and
Okay.
I'll write that down. But yeah, if you guys want an electronic copy, maybe I can palm that off on Lori and Deb and those guys so they can disseminate it that way as well.
Absolutely, let us know.
Thank you.
Put it on
Yeah.
the website too. Okay. So just buzzing through some of the upcoming events here. We have the Career Skills Challenge tomorrow. Hopefully you have some students that are going to be out there competing, and we look forward to being out there tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. We have an upcoming conference that the classified professionals put on through State Center Community College District, and we've been asked, State Center Consortium, to be one of the breakout sessions for the classified professionals conference. They feel like there aren't a lot of people that know about us, the classified staff in the district, and we're doing this breakout session called Best Kept Secrets of SCCCD, and we're one of the best kept secrets. So we're excited to present about the State Center Consortium and share with the classified professionals what we're doing. So that's coming up next week. We also have the Mayor's Job Fair next week on Wednesday, the 27th, and that's going to be at Manchester Mall, and you have a flyer there in your packet. I went to one of the planning meetings yesterday morning, and they have done a phenomenal job as far as recruiting employers. This is for students to go and hopefully get a job for the summer, and they've done training, career readiness workshops at various high schools, and students have an opportunity to go and explore that. I don't know if you want to add anything, Doug, but it's really a great opportunity for kids, so we're excited to have that.
Just a very short one action item, if you have any way to get this information out to your students through the rest of this week, that's the only action item to go on.
All right, Doug, thank you. 4th Annual Career Pathway Summit and Joint Advisory Meeting on April 17th at Reedley College, and that's where we bring together Reedley College and Valley ROP advisory committees and CTE instructors for a nice dinner and some breakout advisory meetings. On April 18th, we have the Health and Science Pipeline Initiative Workshop. That's the HASP group. So they're going to be out here on April 18th and bring some interesting new curriculum for health and science pathways instructors. And I just wanted to mention on that too that we kind of had to encourage them to come because their funding's been, like many of us, their funding's been limited, and they weren't going to be able to come out to the Central Region this year. And so I said, well, hey, I've got some grant money in that area. Can I encourage you to come this way? So it's really not just for consortium partners, but it's really for the entire Central Region. So we're looking to have a large group of health and science instructors at that workshop. Fresno ROP Advisory Night is April 23rd. We also are having an articulation workshop on the unveiling of the new 2+2 online system for our State Center Community College district faculty and administrators on April 25th. And we are doing one more collaboration day this year. That's with our math and engineering instructors. And we've been working with the Fresno County Office of Education math consultants, the Central Valley Math Project, and then of course Fresno City College administration and some of our high school principals as well that are involved in engineering areas. So we're trying to pull a lot of people together to come to that workshop. It should be really well received. OccuTrack workshop, that is only for instructors that have current OccuTrack sections this spring. Again, like Christina mentioned, we want to help them navigate the system and give them a refresher on how to submit grades and attendance through our Web Advisor program. Our counselor workshop, which you have the flyer for, this information's been posted online, and you'll also be getting a spring edition of our Consortium Chronicle, which will have this information in it as well. That goes out to all of our 3,000 plus mailing list. But it's, like I said, it's for high school and community college counselors, and what we want to do is pull them together to share with them some information on what's going on at the state level, provide them some resources that they can use, and allow them an opportunity to collaborate with each other. So that's May 21st at Pardini's. And I did also want to mention that Sonia Ortiz Mercado, who's one of the vice chancellors, or works under one of the vice chancellors of the community college chancellor's office, can't be here physically, but she's going to be providing a webinar on the Student Success Act. And then John Maris from the California Department of Education is also going to be here to present on some of the career readiness resources that, since he's from the College and Career Transitions Division at CDE. So again, trying to pull in Chancellor's Office and CDE so that we have representation from K-12 and community college folks. And then we have a Premiere video editing workshop, and this is hot off the presses. We just got confirmation yesterday that we're going to have SkillPath come out for our video production multimedia instructors. They're going to get a workshop on Premiere and After Effects, which are Adobe 6 programs. So that will be at Willow, similar to our Adobe Photoshop workshop. And there's been a huge demand for this, and I've been working with Mark, and he emailed a bunch of his video production people, and they said, yes, 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 we want to have that. So we're excited to be able to host that. And then the last thing in your packets here is a flyer for the Train the Trainer workshop for the new CTE model curriculum standards. And this is being held on April 17th at the Fresno County Office of Education. They just released, and this is one of the big things that they talked about at the Educating for Careers conference as well, but they just recently adopted the new CTE standards. They're aligned to Common Core, and so what they're trying to do is do a Train the Trainer workshop so that those people can go out and then train the educators about the new CTE standards and all of the cool. This is just a little booklet. They're not going to print a big blue book like they used to. Everything's going to be online. And so I was able to snag one of these. They didn't want to give me enough copies for everybody because they're trying to keep it under wraps until the workshop. But after the workshop, hopefully I can get some more hard copies. But this is kind of like a, what do you call that, executive summary of the CTE standards. And so I wanted to just share that with you. And of course, like I said, that's going to be at FCOE, and Janet Sloan from Fresno RP is the contact on that. But that was a lot of information this morning. Thank you for sticking around. Is there any other comments for the?
Is it possible to send flyers electronically? So that is a much easier way to disseminate information to all of my teachers as opposed to trying to get a hard copy or see if they're on your mailing list or so on and so forth. So,
absolutely.
Lori,
in terms of paperless.
Yeah.
Kristen, we do when we have flyers posted on the individual event page on our website. If you scroll down a little bit, they're down there.
Lori, is there a limitation on that Adobe Premiere? Because I know with the photos.
Yes, we have a computer lab, so we are limited on seats. I think we've got 20 seats for that.
All right.
And like I said, this was just confirmed yesterday, so we haven't sent this information out yet to those instructors.
But they can register, my people, if I give them the info, they can register right now?
Is registration open yet? I guess probably not, since we just
Not
confirmed
that
yesterday.
I want to
But
make sure that
any
Clovis
day.
and Fresno don't take all the spots, but you guys are a lot bigger than me.
Well, I know that the Photoshop workshop, there were several Valley RP
Yes,
teachers
there was,
there, so
actually.
we will make sure that we have spots.
And then the healthcare one also, is there a limitation on how many people?
No, that's more of a, they're going to be in this room, so we're looking to have about 50 people. So I think you've got a good, there's a good amount of space for that workshop. So and that'll be opening up soon as well. That one is open? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Thank you all again for coming this morning. Hope you enjoyed your breakfast, and thank you for being here. We'll see you in May. May 22nd.